What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. So I wanted to make an updated hunting guide, and the reason why is because with the introduction of the new item drop rate that they added recently in like a patch or two ago, where you can get up to 10% after 7,000 family fame, people have been asking, how do you get your life fame? Or just like, so family fame is a total of your combat, a life, and special fame. So people are wondering how to get to 7,000 as fast as possible. Realistically, to get over 6,000 or 7,000 fast is probably just power leveling all your characters to like 61, which is it takes a little bit of time, but that's probably the fastest. But if you were doing a little bit of life skilling along the way, one thing I could optionally tell you guys to get past 7,000 is if you want to do hunting. Hunting is a really quick one you could do on all your alts to get to like Master 1. It takes, I would say maybe 2 hours, but it does require a little bit of investment. So TLDR, you're going to need to spend a few billion on life skill gear, but you could just do the quest and get it that way too, like the whole main or whatever suggested hunting quests. But if you are already established more or less, this is what I would recommend. So what you're going to want to have is a butcher knife. It doesn't have to be a Monos. It just needs to be a butcher knife. Obviously, higher the better. So we're going to equip that one. I would also recommend having hunter's gear. And the reason why is because what we're going to be doing, you could do this from beginner 1 all the way up to, well, whatever guru, I guess. But if you're looking to get it, I would recommend having a try or tet. Preferably the higher the better. And the reason why is because I wish I could show you. Hold on, let me see if I can show you. So anyway, Monos Hunter. Okay, so the reason why we have tet is because if you look at the DP on here, it goes up by 20. And usually with life skill and Monos gear, the higher is obviously better. But for hunting in particular, you kind of want tet because the monsters we're going to be fighting are in the comma area, which is a little bit higher. So if you're doing this from beginner 1, you kind of need more DP, and it gets a little bit more sketch if you don't. So anyway, try, or I would say try if you have an infinite pot, tet if you don't, or obviously if you have both of them. And then I personally have a master lock because that's the highest one you can get right now. However, an artisan one if you do have the life skill mastery. So let me show you. If you read the description here, it'll say you could use an artisan matchlock at 400 mastery, right? Now, if we put on my life skill gear, you could actually get a little bit lower now that artifacts are a thing. Since my last guide that I made, artifacts weren't a thing. You could just put life skill plus hunting on here. So basically, if we have hunting, our life skill mastery is basically past the 400 point, which is what you want at beginner 1 at least. So at tet, it'll give 400, or no, 300, and then you're going to need a little bit of life skill gear to get your way up. And if you don't have it, what I would recommend doing is, well, they probably give a lot of these secret books that'll just get your mastery up 100. And honestly, with 1 or 2 of them, you could just get yourself to easy artisan and you'll be good to go. But if not, there's a few other life skill things you can get along the way, like artifacts and stuff. So anyway, what we're going to be doing is running through here. So once again, this is a little bit of an investment, but you're going to want to have some preparation before you start, even if you are at beginner 1. So this is how you're going to get it. So what we're going to be going through first is how to level up quickly. And then once you're leveled up a little bit, let's say artisan, and you think you're ready and you have like a master matchlock, which you can use at artisan 10. We're going to be going to Narcion down here. This is like the end game hunting spot. And people have been asking me, the last time I made the guide was before the whole winter region area. And I've tested it. This isn't really that good. So I think Narcion is still best place to hunt, like right now. But anyway, let's assume you are beginner 1, right? make sure to be prepared for that. Okay, let me move this up. So what's gonna happen is we're over here. So let's go to our acre art guard post, and then we're standing over here. It's kind of a weird path because you have to go up a mountain, but let's just say you're over here, right? Okay. So once you're over here, the way you could notify or like know is you're by the poacher NPC. And what you're gonna want to do, if you don't have a infinite potion, then you just make sure to carry some extras. So what I did here from beginner 1, assuming you can use or you have 400 mastery, which is pretty easy to get nowadays, even with Logia stuff, is what you're gonna want to do is like make sure to just kill these feather wolves. And I'm assuming right now you have an artisan matchlock. If you don't, the way this works is if you attack the final thingy, see this like black wolf one, what happens when you attack this one is all the small ones, they will like back off for a little bit until you kill it, and then once you kill it, they're gonna all charge you. What you're gonna want, these are where you get the XP. Any like bonuses along the side are always good. So right now in this area, what we're gonna be looking for is mostly we're going to get the XP, and we're gonna stay here till artisan, which I'm just doing it as a demonstration, but it's not too bad. Like you can see the XP going up, and for you starting at beginner, you're gonna probably from this one pull alone, you're just gonna go from like beginner 1 to skilled already. Do another rotation, then you're basically whatever past skilled, professional, artisan, and that takes like 1 hour total. All right, so once this is cleared, I'm gonna show you a few things. Like right here, I put my tent down over here because matchlocks, the lower the level, the more they use, and obviously you're gonna do less damage. I started with artisan matchlock and it did just fine. It just takes maybe like 1 or 2 more shots, and then so you can't like full chain everything. So make sure to have your thing ready to go. You're gonna have to repair a lot, and that's just how it is. And then see, once you're charged, you go down the hill from here. And this one, you could chain all of them by pulling this one, or you could just take them one at a time. And as a beginner, I guess I would recommend just chaining 1 or 2 of them in at a time. And then once you get used to the pulls a little bit, back attacks of course do more damage. And yeah, so I'm gonna do this pull real quick, and I guess the difference is like, are you face tanking it versus are you actually dodging? This is why I recommended the infinite pot, because it allows you to face tank things even with full life skill gear. So it allows you to just straight up gather midway. Oh, that was like right in its face. I can't believe this is happening. Hold on, let me just back up a little bit. There we go. So after that, I was just pulling them individually, but if you want, you can just full run down the hill and chain them. But another thing I do after that is there's a few more over here. You tag like a few of them, and by the time the rest of them get to you, you can pick off a few. And I actually have to aim a little bit. Trust me when I say this part is the hardest one. Once you get to Narcion, it's easier to do back attacks, but until then, you're here to get the XP, and because it's really fast, and it definitely beats out questing. But this one is for the people who are a little bit invested into life skill gear. So it's one of those things you could do, just power level like 80 your characters and stuff. There's a few more up here. And I think if you're Guru, or once you get to Guru, you could get an extra shot. So what you do here, pull an extra 3 or 4 once they're chained in. Also, you guys may be wondering about your karma. It's like what? I'll just leave this open, just look at the karma. It's what, like 5 karma, so it's not really a big deal. Just in case you guys are panicking on that. Karma loss isn't that bad. So that's the bottom spot, and just keep gathering, and it's pretty decent money after they buffed it too. But here, don't worry about how much loot you get. We'll go to Narcion in a bit, so you can check that out. Okay, so next we're gonna be going over here. So if you have to recharge or repair your matchlock, that's fine. So we're back at this spot. Now make sure your 100% is unlocked for this one, because I'm gonna show you how the ult works. So make sure what we're gonna do is chain all of these in together. Make sure they're in a ball before you actually do anything. Dodge a little bit, roll, whatever. Once they're good, you hit your ult button, which is when you 100 it. And you see how they're pretty much all weak. You could just pick them off. And that's basically the rotation you do, and it's not that bad. And then so once you get your ult again, yeah. It is a little bit desyncy. That's just BDO in a nutshell. All the other hunters in my guild, they're just like, yeah, this happens, it's normal. I'm like, is it really normal? It shouldn't be like that. But anyway, so basically go down, kill everything. If you are newer to this, which I assume that's why you're watching it, you could pull 1 or 2 at a time. That's perfectly fine. You're not really too concerned about it. And then once you get better and you're more confident, we'll chain it. Once your ultimate or your Black Spear is at 100%, you hit your F button by default, and that just 100s your enemies. And that should, in theory, make things a lot easier. So what we're going to do next is go to the Narcion area. Now, I'm going to assume that you are within the artisan level at this point. You just keep running circles in this area until you think you're ready, and then honestly, you could go there with an artisan matchlock. It'll be fine, but whenever you feel like you're comfortable enough to go there, definitely go to do that. What did I do? Just make sure weapons are on. So this is a little bit of an extra tip. If you have a Pegasus or tier 10 of some sort, if you have your matchlock equipped, you cannot do the jump with it like that. So I learned that the hard way by yeeting myself off a cliff with the matchlock on. I was like, oh, why can't I like fly? So okay, so what we're going to be doing now is going to Narcion, and this is what I would consider the end game, like high-end grind spot. There are other spots. The winter region, it's not really that good, unfortunately. Maybe it'll get a buff one day, but for the most part, just go to Narcion. This would probably be the second place to go anyway, and then you just kind of stay there. All right, welcome back. So we're closing in on the Narcion area. Right here is where we're gonna park our stuff by the stable people, and basically once you hit the Narcion, you're gonna be going over here. So this is where I usually leave my horse and everything. So let me get everything sorted again. Let's put on, oh my god. Okay, anyway. So we're good. So I would honestly say Narcion is a lot easier to do than the guard post that we were at before. However, it is because now that we are higher level, it's going to be a lot easier. So what we're going to be looking for in this area is basically anything that has a wild. Now, I personally didn't really like the Shadow Lions because they are pretty tanky and it's hard to get back attacks on them. Like, I mean, you could get it, but they just kind of turn a lot. So my recommendations on what I did to personally level up fast was go for the, like, what is it? Rhinos or something. So once I kill this, I'll show you. Let's look at the XP. We're at 44% right now. These lions, they give pretty decent XP, but they're slower to kill. So like that was a whole 2%. So anyway, what I did to level my other characters to like master, you see there's like deer here, the Verdure bucks. You can kill them in one hit, but they don't give a lot of XP. The grass rhinos, they charge you, and it's easy for that one. I just pretty much went with these because when they charge you, it's easier to get back attacks. So let me show you for this one. And the XP is pretty decent as well. So you see, hit him with 3 of them, and then since they charge, you just back attack if you had more than one shot. So I guess I'll wait, hold on. You could just keep shooting it too. It honestly, if you have a tent or anything, which you should, pretty easy. It's not a big deal. They don't do too much damage. So 46% right now. That's pretty good. I'm just throwing it out there, and that was like a. So with the loot, how this works is you could usually proc between 1 to 3. And then if you have a head, or like 1, and then if you have a hedgehog going when you gather, it gives you a little bit more as well. So in Narcion, it's a little bit different because there aren't really chain pulls, and what you do is basically you do 1 or 2 at a time depending on how comfortable you are. I'm doing 1 at a time just as a demonstration and how like you could do it comfortably. But if you know what you're doing, higher level, you're good to go. Just pull 2 or 3 and you'll probably be fine. So with the loot, what happens is the more, or like if you have a hedgehog and the more stuff you get, I double proc these, but that's because that hedgehog most likely, and then you just get double the loot. So that's, ever since they buffed the area, that's why this place gives a lot more money, because I mean, like in the past 2 things, what did we kill? We got like 2 hards and then 3 cappers already. There's another thing you can get, which is the Breath of Narcion. Now, back in the day, you would actually have to farm these yourself, and yeah, you use those to make the master matchlocks. But nowadays, you could just buy it off the market. So I would honestly, it's a lot easier to just buy it than make it. So just buy yours when you get it. And trust me when I say I spent countless hours grinding for mine. That's why I'm able to actually make these guides, because I spent a bit of time leveling up multiple characters as well to hunt, master. And all you have to do is get the gear once, and then you just transfer it onto your other characters and just keep repeating it. Triple skill XP proc, like 50%. So you see how fast this is going, and that's basically Narcion in a nutshell. You don't really have to worry too much about like, hey, is this place contested? First of all, there aren't really, like, there are hunters around, but you probably won't see too many really often. And so like everyone is either doing small pulls to medium pulls anyway, so this area is huge. And like generally, as long as you aren't like trying to snipe other people's like rhinos or something, if you have your own like here, as long as no one else is trying to attack my own, then we're pretty good. Oh my god, got it. So yeah, that's basically Narcion. You see the map right here, it'll tell you. Oh my god, that's a huge proc, boys. This is why, look at all this, this is why people are making so much money, is you just get so much loot here. So I don't really know how much silver I make an hour here because I don't really keep track. A lot of this materials I use is like when you get it, what you do with it is something I'll add on from last video that I made. So I guess this is a little bit of newer stuff. So hold on, let me kill this one first and then we'll go over some crafting that you could use to make it. Okay, so as you guys already know, meat is used for cooking and making meals, selling it for profit. Pretty standard. Hide is for making gear in a way, so like horse gear and whatnot. Blood and fire horns are alchemy. And you get lion meat and lion blood, which is very valuable in terms of like high-end meal crafting. So that was pretty quick. We made pretty decent money off of just demonstrating how all this worked. All right, so after that, what you're gonna want to do is, let me go back to not really a safe spot, to where my horse is before we do anything. So this is all just demonstration of how you could do this as well in life skill gear. But the real most important thing is the Mono's clothes, because it gives some DP, and the higher the better. So you guys may be wondering, okay, so I've been doing that. Now I have all these hides and like sharp tooths and stuff. What do I do with it? Right? So if you go to your manufacturing, you see all these masters and stuff thingies that you could make. Personally, I just like doing wolf heads because that was pretty straightforward. Shadow wolves are here. I don't really mess around too much with this, but what you do with it is, let's say you have a wolf head, right? Buy this, and then you upgrade the color from like green to blue to yellow, and then all that stuff, and then you either profit, or you could use it for like PvP, PvE. You just place it into your house, and then gives you free buffs, right? So what I used to do back when these were actually worth something and they weren't flooding the market was I would turn like any color I could into a higher tier one, so, and then you could sell it. So basically, if you bought like a master's, you craft it with extra materials that you got from hunting, and then you would get a master, or like a master's special one, and then you could sell for profit. The profit ranges is a little bit different nowadays than it was before, because more people are able to hunt and do stuff nowadays, so just keep that in mind. However, if you're just gathering to gather for like various meats, alchemy, and or crafting, this is a very solid way to do it as well. So I use Odalita as a little bit of my craft area that I dump random goodies in here. So when I'm not using it, I'll just dump it in here. And then lion meat, very valuable, as you guys already know. So yeah, that's pretty much hunting in a nutshell. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know this might have been a long video, but generally Narcion is not that bad. If you come here, don't panic. If you don't think you can tank it, just sidestep things out of the way. Have potions, you'll be fine. You don't have to do big pulls. You could just do 1 or 2 at a time, and then you'll be fine. You still get the same amount of XP. It takes a while. So yeah, that's how you get master hunting pretty easily. And then from master, you just kind of stay here until guru and whatever. You could go to other spots, but honestly, if you're trying to make money as well, I think Narcion is still the best spot. New Winter region, not really too sure about that one. It's kind of scuffed. But yeah, I would just stay at Narcion, and if you're a beginner, as we saw before, Acre Guard Post, whatever down here, and then go to Narcion, and then from beginner 1 all the way to Guru. This is like how you do it. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, drop a quick like. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'm happy to help you guys out. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.